Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there my Crimsonites, how we doing? We ready for the weekend? We got some good stuff coming up. Next week. I am going to be on Ask a Brother podcast show on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So as the date nears, I will supply the link so everybody can go and check it out. Okay, so I checked out the before we get started, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribed to the channel. This actually helps me get back into the algorithm. It helps those of you who don't really get notifications to start getting notifications more regularly. And it introduces my channel to new subscribers. So I really appreciate likes and subscriptions. So I checked out the interview that Kendra G recently did on Paul Pierce's podcast. And I thought it was really interesting. I thought some of the things that were being said were kind of interesting. Because they also talk about like Paul Pierce going viral again for saying that in order to like test a woman, you have to cheat on her, or at least you have to tell her that you cheated on her just to see what her response is going to be. And we are going to talk about that. I'm not going to keep you waiting. Of course, I'm not going to show the video. So you will have to look at my mug as we listen. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to what is being said. Okay.
Said, and I quote, that men need to cheat on their women to find out if they really love them.
They need to cheat, like as in, because cheat means deceive, right? So you need to go outside. Like there's open relationship where your girl is very much aware you're gonna have other women, right? Yeah. But why cheat? Why not just say right now we're still dating, but I'm gonna explore other women? That to me sounds like manipulation.
It is sound like manipulation, to be honest. But like how, like say a man in my position, say like I meet a girl, I know her, she know who I am, she understand my background and all of this. How do I find out if she truly loves me for me?
But how do you find out if you truly love her? By cheating on her? What is that?
I you know what? That was the only thing I could come up with. And I know there's more things, but cheating, people, it's such a broad.
Now, I like that he's sort of explaining his thought process behind what he said. Okay. Because I'm going to go ahead and let him talk. But he's kind of copping to the fact that it is like manipulation. And maybe it's not the best thing. Maybe I'm not saying the best thing, but it's what I could come up with, which is fair enough.
A thin line into cheating too, because people automatically think sex. No, it don't have to be a sexual encounter. Like just I don't know if it'll be intentional, but it unintentional, like, damn, maybe.
But let me give you some real talk. Only people that love you for you is God, dogs, and your mama. Like, that's just real talk. You became who you are. Right. Everyone that's attached to you, like, that's your essence, you know, so you almost just have to accept that to a certain degree. You're not really going to know who's there for you unless you got into a position where you're really down and out. Let's say you lose it all and then you have no money, no fame. Mm-hmm. That's the only way you're going to know if a person's really about you. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I mean, you are who you are. Like, everybody's working to attract, like, girls go to the gym to look cute because they want the best of the best. Yeah. So it's almost like you're never going to know that. Just God, dogs, and your mama. Huh?
And you know what else it is?
Yeah, you have to go through something.
I think, too, tell a woman the truth and let her truly see who you are.
Right.
That's how you know if anyone loves you, when you can see me for the person that I am.
Maybe
my
not
worst
cheat. Maybe if I, like, lose my legs.
Maybe if you lose your money and you broke. Or maybe if you ask her, maybe if you call her and say, babe, I don't got it this month. Can you help me pay my bills? How about that? Like, not everything has to be attached to. I mean, if she can't afford it,
she out of here.
So, you know what's interesting that I hear that often from men who are extremely successful? Is that a concern of yours? Like, do you feel like everyone around you just wants to be around you because of who you are, because you have money, because you have status?
Yeah, that's the feeling.
Does that bother you?
I think you just grow in it, and you just like, damn. You always keep you just always feel like you're looking over your shoulder. You always, it messes with your trust.
Right.
You know, and it's like, damn, you might be sitting there one day and just be like, man, I'm ready to be off.
But you know what, though? I like what.
Now, he's being very honest. And you're right, my eyes. He didn't think it through because, and this is just my opinion. I'm not trying to really throw shade at Paul Pierce, like as a person or anything, but it just comes off to me a certain way. I don't think he can think that through. I don't think he can think it through because he just said basically his position, having some status, having some fame, having some money, things of that nature, you just don't know what the women are there for. Like, you don't know what they're there for. Kendra brought up a good point. She said the only ones love you for you is God, your dog, and your mama, or whatever. Most people do not love other people without some qualifier for the love. We're going to talk about, because what this brings up is the concept of unconditional love. And we're going to get to that. Okay. When that clip went viral, I side-eyed the clip. I'm going to say I side-eyed cheat on her because you want to see what happens. The reason why I side-eyed that is because that's not a good test. Testing your woman, girlfriend, whomever, by either claiming that you cheated or actually cheating and then telling her about it and then trying to see what her reaction is, that's not a good test. And I'm going to tell you why it's not a good test. Because her reaction either way, whether she stay, whether she leave, whether she trip, whether she be quiet or not, that doesn't say nothing about who she is. That doesn't really say much about who she is in regards to you. That doesn't say a lot about her character. To a certain degree, it doesn't, especially in relation to you. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, okay. If she stays, if you tell her, okay, and let's say she don't argue, she don't trip, she don't start tripping out, she stays, she quietly simply accepts that, does that automatically make her a good person? I want y'all to really think about that. Does that make her trustworthy? Does she earn trust? Does she become more respectable? And does it tell you that she is of a higher moral character? If she say, no, I'm not, I can't do that. If she leave, let's say she leave quietly. Let's say she don't cause a big ruckus as she leave. Let's say she don't cause you a big ruckus about it. She don't, you know what I'm saying? Again, she still don't trip, but she leave. Does that make her a bad person? Does it automatically make her untrustworthy, not a good person, not of good character? So this is why that's not a good test to test her loyalty. That's not a good test. That doesn't test her loyalty. Doing that doesn't test her loyalty. It don't test her. It either gives her ammo, or it creates suspicion, or it creates mistrust with her. That's what it's going to do. That's what that's going to do. So that's not a test of who she is. That's not a test. It's more of a test to see how she react with another man step to her. That's more of a test of who she is. Whether or not she respect or disrespect you when she think nobody's looking, or when she think certain things don't get back to you. How does she respond? How does she, you know what I'm saying? Do she speak ill of you in your absence? Do she disrespect the relationship in your absence by entertaining other men in an inappropriate way? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does she do? That's more of a test of who she is and whether or not you can trust her. See, with the way he set that up, now she questioning whether she could trust him. But before I continue on, I'm gonna, matter of fact, I'm gonna let him answer, because in another couple of minutes, she's going to ask another pointed question that I thought was a good question in regards to this, because they have a little bit of a conversation about what they think about what his answers are. I'm not too interested in that, but we're gonna listen to this part,
which I appreciate. He wants to see, okay, if I tell her I'm sleeping with other women and she does nothing, I know clearly she wants to be with me because what I can provide. But if I tell her and she's out, like, nah, I mean, I know who you are. I respect who you are, but I respect myself more than I respect who you are. I got to keep it moving. So you're right. It's not a good lie, but he's just trying to weed out all the women, because there's so many women who will not give a fuck.
Well, you're wrong at what you're saying, because he's actually trying to say that if you cheat and stay, you love me.
No, he didn't say that.
He said that on his clip. That's verbatim what he said.
Okay, then he's flipping up. Right now, he just said okay, that's two different answers. Because you told me if she cheats and she accepts it, you wouldn't respect her.
He's contradicting himself.
Okay, so which one is the truth? It's truth after dark, Paul.
We don't know, Kendra.
Because you don't because now I got to go back and defend her, because that's two different answers. So what is the honest truth? Would you respect a woman if you cheated and she stayed with you, or would you respect her more if she left you?
Ooh,
I love her.
No, that's a good question. No, I don't. Would I respect her? Wait, say that again.
Okay, so you cheat on her, you tell her, and she's like, you know what, don't let it happen again, and forgives you easily. Or you cheat on her, you tell her, and she's like, I'm out. Like, that was not our agreement. I already told you what I was on, and she leaves. Which one?
I'd rather be out.
You'd rather her be out?
Yeah, because now let me. It's how she go out though. If she.
So she asked, who do you respect more? Do you respect the woman that stays after you tell her that? Or do you respect the woman that say, peace, I'm out? And he said, I actually respect the one that says she's out. I don't even respect her if she stay. She does nothing. She says nothing. She stay. Girl, what? So I can do anything to you. You got low self-esteem, or you just here just because. Right? So I wanted y'all to hear that before the point was lost on this particular topic. But what it addresses was something that he was trying to get to beforehand. He was trying to talk about, okay, a man in his position, and really any man, right? How do you know when people are there for you and not just what benefit that they may derive from you or with you because of what you may do? This leads to, even though they didn't necessarily say it, this leads to the question of unconditional love. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that a relationship or marriage should have unconditional love. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't think that that's a such thing. So again, put a 1 in the chat if you believe that a relationship or marriage should be unconditional love. 2 if you don't think that that's really a such thing. Okay. I hear people say, well, you know, and I hear this from men and women, that the love should be unconditional, the marriages and things of that nature should be based on unconditional love. I happen to be of the opinion that that is complete BS. There is literally no such thing as unconditional love. Literally no such thing as love without some form of condition. There's a condition. And the reason, first of all, is that even God's love comes with a condition. Some people think God loves everybody. He absolutely do not. He provides for everybody, but he don't love everybody. Allah is very clear on who he loves and why he loved them. It's conditions to Allah loving you. It's conditions to that. You got to meet some kind of criteria to that. You can't just roll up and be any old body and he just love you. No, he'll take care of you. He will provide for you because Allah is beneficent. That don't mean he love you. That's key. God's provision for you is not indicative of his love for you. God's provision to you is not indicative of his love for you. Which is why I don't take, quote unquote, providing for me as a sign of love from nobody. That's not love. You might be doing that out of a duty, but not necessarily love. Not necessarily, not all the time. You understand? Because Allah take care of disbelievers and believers. He take care of disbelievers and believers. Thank you so much for the cash out. That is the first contribution of the day, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay. So number one, even the Lord above does not love you unconditionally. There are conditions to receive God's love. Okay. Number two, unconditional love, especially when we're talking about relationships and marriages and things of that nature, and really anything, but we gonna seclude it to relationships. That is delusional. Because what it says, the reason why I'm against the concept of unconditional love is because it's a carte blanche to treat somebody any kind of way, and they not supposed to leave you. They're not supposed to change their perception of you. They're supposed to keep the same energy from day one today 1,000, no matter what you do or what happened. And that is not real. That is not real. Thank you once again for the Cash App. I appreciate you again. Thank you so much. Okay. It's a carte blanche. It means unconditional means there's no condition. So what you're saying is there is no wrong I can do. There is no experience that I can give you. There is no circumstance that exists or should exist that should change your perception of me or your experience of me or make you feel differently about me. That is what unconditional means. It means no condition, completely without any restraint or boundary. That is not going to work. Because every healthy relationship and every healthy person, every healthy relationship and every healthy person has boundaries, conditions, criteria, and standard. See, you're going to have to come up to some kind of value. We're going to have some kind of boundary. We're going to have some kind of general understanding between you and I about what it is that we're supposed to be doing with each other. There is no such thing as a healthy relationship without any boundaries and without any baseline. Relationships have to have a baseline. What holds us accountable to how we treat each other? What holds us accountable to that? Huh? Come on now, come with me now. In a relationship, what holds us accountable? Huh? What's the baseline? Where is the accountability? Where is the baseline for making sure we don't drop underneath a particular standard? I.e., conditions. See, we're not going to be able to just do anything to each other. You were supposed to love me. You don't love me. No, actually, I don't. I don't love you. Look at you. Same thing the other way. It don't matter who do what. Females acting a fool, doing whatever. He ain't got to keep on loving you. He ain't got to keep on being around you or being with you or the dynamics of the relationship never change. This is one thing that I've learned. And I realize it's true no matter the marriage and no matter who you marry to. There are certain things. That do what I call is change the color of the relationship. You want to stay away from stuff like that. You want to stay away from words and actions that change the dynamic, that change the character and the base of that relationship and how y'all relate to one another. It's certain things that you can't, certain lines you can't cross. The crossing of those boundaries, you can't do that. Because sometimes when you cross boundaries, you can't cross back. And it changes everything. Now I gotta look at you a different way. I can't help it, even if I don't want to. And that might actually be part of the anguish. I didn't think that about you. Now I have to consider. You make me consider. And you making me consider things that's negative about you. Now I got to consider negative things that I just didn't think was a part of you, or I didn't think you felt like that, or I didn't think, you know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. Joshua said, a comedian once said, women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under condition that he provides something. And first of all, thank you for the contribution. But I know, I think it was Chris Rock that said it. I actually disagree with that. I have never been loved unconditionally, ever. Never. Because if I don't perform the way I'm supposed to perform in a marriage, whether it was my first marriage or this current one, I'm going to not be loved. And even if I'm loved, it won't guarantee that I won't be left. Women are not loved unconditionally. They just think they are. They just think they are. But it's absolutely things that women can do and have done in relationships with men that get them all the way up out of there. All the way up out of there. She got to do something. She has to do something. Because you married her for something. You with her for something. You're with her for something. For some reason, there's something that she provides to you, i.e., a condition. Whatever the condition is. And if she consistently does not meet those conditions, consistently undermine those conditions, consistently line step, she a habitual line stepper, she gonna be out of there. She gonna mess around and change that man's perception of her. And once he changed his perception of her from something positive to something negative, the time be ticking for her. You don't have to get out of my face, because men will get mean to you. People say men don't leave relationships. You want me to tell you what men do? And men, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Or back me up if I'm right. Men won't leave, but they'll get mean. They'll just retract. Just back all the way up, cut it all the way off. Whatever affection they was giving you, whatever they was doing, however they was treating you real nice, they are not going to be treating you like that no more. And they do it to make you leave. That's their little thing. Men can say, we don't file for divorce, but they make you file. When they don't want you no more, when men literally don't want you, they won't just go do the paperwork. But what they do is they'll make the relationship unsustainable. It'll just be unsustainable until you figure out that you're not wanted. You have to figure it out. As a woman, you figure it out. You figure out I don't like you. You figure out why I don't talk to you much no more, or I don't have the affection that I had, or I don't buy you the gifts like I used to, or certain things that I used to do to show you, affection and love and care and things of that nature. Girl, I don't do that. Bye. But they won't say bye. They just, and then when that's it's crazy too, because when you leave, they'll say, she broke up with me. She broke the relationship. It's kind of manipulative, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So unconditional love is not realistic. We're going to come back. We're going to fast forward just a little bit.
That's why I always tell that woman, just be solid. It's going to go in your favor one or two ways these days, right? No, the internet shouldn't act like every man has it their way with women. No, it's about 5% of men that have it their way with women. Most men have to work for women. I get good quality guys who just are not tall enough, who just don't have enough money, who just might not be attractive or might have what some might call a normal life. Like, listen, I make $65K. I got my own home. I'm ready for a family. That's not always good enough, for women these days, right? No judgment, but it is what it is. So then when you get a guy who fits everything you want, got the money, got the height, got the relationships, unfortunately, there's 10,000 women. And until he gets to a point where he's like, okay, I'm really ready for something solid, that's why I always tell that woman, just be solid. It's going to go in your favor one or two ways. Either A, he's not ready for it, so don't waste your time, no love lost, or you're solid and he recognizes it and now he's ready to step up to be the man that you deserve. But either way, you got to bet. You got to be willing to bet on yourself. You can't, like, if you, this whole thing with the man is the prize, I always say the woman's the prize, but I got to defend men that women are treating men like the prize because they're chasing them. They're accepting any single thing. The standards are so low. And now, dating, that playbook our grandparents have, throw that shit out the way. Like, your grandmother just had to be the baddest woman in her city. There was no social media. You know what I'm saying?
Now, that conversation starts getting into the weeds in a way that I don't want to get into today. But the one thing she said, and I'm not going to dwell on the point too long because I have other points that I wanted to talk about, was, and I agree with her here, women need to be solid. This is why I tell women about, I tell my lionesses, always be a lioness. It goes to the point of when I'm talking about a woman having her own integrity. You cannot be, if you are going to be a woman of value, you cannot be one of these women that go with anything. You cannot go with anything. You cannot go when the wind blows. You cannot go here and there. You can't be on board with certain things because he got money, because this one got money, but you not on board with the same things unless because this one ain't got the money. Or you on board for X, Y, and Z over here, but you not on board for X, Y, and Z over there. This is why it is important for lionesses to have her own set of values, her own integrity, because that's what makes you solid. That is what makes you solid. Because if you don't have your own set of values and your own set of standards and your own integrity, you can't be solid. You about to be wishy-washy. That's really, when we get down to the crux of it, that's really the difference between hyenas and lionesses. Hyenas are going depending on this, that, and a third. Lioness is either going or not going depending on her value set and her level of integrity. That's what it depends on. So that is what I mean by when I say lionesses can't be bought. Because if money don't move me like that, if your dollar amount don't make me bend and sway and compromise who I am and all that type of stuff, then it don't matter if you a baller or if you an average paying man. If I'm down with you, I'm down with you. And I'm down for different reasons. I'm not just here based on what I think I can get out of you or how I think I can use you or how I think I can, you know what I'm saying, manipulate and things of that nature. Because I'm not that person just with me. Even when I'm by myself, I'm not that person. You understand? This is what lionesses, this is why it's so important when I talk about a value system, having spirituality set in place at first, because that actually undergirds everything else. Okay? Hyenas do not have a spiritual base. They don't have one. They don't have a set of principles. They don't have a set of principles. That's where standards and stuff come from. Your spiritual base is where sets of principles, your standards, your moral code, and your moral compass comes out of that value, the spiritual value. That's where that comes from. So if you don't have that, then if you don't have a good spiritual value, then you can't have a good moral compass, a set of principles, a set of standards that are unwavering no matter what's going on. Because the fact of the matter is, it should not matter whether a man has money or not. It shouldn't matter if he's famous. It shouldn't matter if he's rich. It shouldn't matter if he's fine. It should not matter to a woman to make her act one way or the other. I'm only submissive if he has a certain dollar amount. Other than that, I don't care what he say. I only listen to him if he a rapper or he a ball player. But I don't listen if he work a 9 to 5. I only listen if he's 6'2". But if he's 5'8", I'm not gonna listen to nothing that he say. You see what I'm saying? That's stupid. Because you're either a woman that has integrity and understand what's going on in a relationship, or you aren't. So it is strange sometimes to men to Can you guys see and hear me now? Put a 1 in the chat if you can see and hear me now. Okay, good. So on that note, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to go back because she said something very key. But after these messages, we'll be right back. I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you want to keep your skin looking and feeling its absolute best, then you need the body butter that's on the screen right now. If this is going to be your first order, please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson. Once again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat, ashkicking.com. Okay. I owe you guys a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to go ahead and hit the like button for me. Okay. All right. So now, she said something real interesting.
For my career, every 4 years, I pretty much moved. I think I'm home now. I think. I think.
She loves LA.
Yeah,
I
we
love
you
LA,
here.
but Dubai got it. Dubai look like it's my kind of place.
I just saw Lindsay Lohan said she lives in Dubai.
I wonder what she's doing over there.
She said, well, she's married and she said they can't take pictures of you. Like when you're in the restaurant, it's illegal to take pictures of people. You have to ask them for permission.
I've been over there.
That's what she was just saying.
I'm on Instagram. I'm taking photos. I was there.
Okay, so wait a minute. You are single. Do you feel like people weaponize that a lot? Because for me, I feel like, well, why are you single then? Or why are you da-da-da? And it's like, maybe because I like my peace and I understand who I am as a woman and I prefer my solitude. And if you're going to take some of that space, you must be a hell of a person. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I thought when I was single, you know?
Right.
So what, like, do you feel like people are like, why are you single if you have this show and da-da-da-da-da?
They weaponize women.
Yes, women.
They don't weaponize men.
Yeah.
Like I said, if I was a man, men would encourage me not to get married. They would say, yes, you work this hard, you focus on your career, you invested I've invested my own money into my company. They'll be like, why would you let a woman benefit off of all your hard work? Yeah. What happens is we're in a time where I do believe that there's some men that only respect a woman by the man she's next to, right? So, and there is, that's a part. No, that's what it's about. So it's like, who's the man I got to answer to if I mess with you? And if there's not a man standing there, well, why not? And there's also some type of, I don't want to say control.
Let me stop her right there. What she said was actually true. Let's go point for point. The first thing she talked about, well, not the first thing. We're going to back up to the other lady's point. She was talking about being single, them men weaponizing, or women too, or just the general audience, weaponizing their lack of marital status against them because they are women. And then she's saying, I value my peace and I value my solitude. And so therefore, if I'm going to have you in my life, then you have to be a heck of a person in order to take that space. This is alluding to that when a woman is with a man, she automatically does not have peace in her life. Men are the disruptors of peace. You can hear this sometimes the other way. Men will say women are the disruptors of peace. If we have this rhetoric going back and forth across the aisle about both men and women are actually disturbers of peace and relationships are automatically and inherently not peaceful, they are not good for your mental health, they are not good for your emotional health, and there's always this turmoil that has to happen in relationships. Is it any wonder that don't nobody want to be in a relationship? Is it any wonder that nobody really want to be in a relationship for real? If everybody's saying that if you get into a relationship that this is going to be, they're going to take something from you that's valuable and you're just going to have to learn to live without it, i.e. your peace of mind. You're just going to have to learn to live without your peace of mind in order to have this person in your life. Who wants to do that? Who is volunteering for that? Nobody. Men are not volunteering for that, and women are not volunteering for that. So if we stress that that is what a marriage is, that is what a relationship is, automatically, that you don't add things to one another, you take things from one another. Who would want to do that? No one. Second point. Is lack of marriage weaponized against women specifically in a way that it is not weaponized against men? Yes. Yes. And she hit upon a point. There are men who only respect a woman based on the man that's standing next to her. She's absolutely right, because I have told everyone that men do not inherently respect women. Okay? That is not an inherent trait in the male side of the species. They do not inherently respect women or females. Okay? They do not. From small boys, boys have to be taught by grown men to respect any female, including their mothers or any sisters that they may have. That is a taught thing. Okay? It extends into adulthood because men do not really respect women that don't have men, because it is the men that they respect, not the women. Okay? So when I go places, in my first marriage, I didn't have a ring. I didn't want a ring. I didn't have a ring. But my aura was married. But even though my aura was married, the fact that I didn't have a ring, some men would try it. And not even so much try to hit on me like romantically, but get into a space where they wanted to be domineering and, you know what I'm saying, or confrontational with me, until my husband came through and was like, what? Oh, because I'm not worthy of respect. That's a hard one for women. That's a hard one for women, but you got to know it. You have to know that. When women walk around and we are married, this ring and the way we carry ourselves, that is what wards other men off or make them think twice about what they say to you or how they behave around you, not because they give a crap about you. It's just that they know that if you're married, they might have to respect this guy, and this guy has consequences that they're not going to enjoy. Okay? That is why marriage is a protection. It's a protection from several different things, and this is one of them. It protects you from the inherent disrespect that men would give you just off cuff, just off the rip. There are men who would disrespect you just because you're a woman. What you gonna do? What you gonna do if I yell at you? What you gonna do if I try to intimidate you? What you gonna do? Nothing. Oh, there's a man somewhere. There's a man somewhere that you might call. That's who I gotta respect. I don't gotta respect you. Okay? Women, you have to know that. The dog is not worthy of respect until his master comes around. Okay? All right? The dogs are not worthy of respect unless the master is there. Stray dogs do not get the respect that a dog with a master gets. Why is it weaponized? Because that was point number one. It's not an inherent thing for men. Men have to be taught respect for women. Okay? And they respect other men more than they respect any women. Okay? Also, and here's the most important thing. The criteria of what makes women respectable and valuable in a society is different than how men are judged. Men and women are judged upon different criteria as to their value in society, in a family structure, in a communal structure, and just the measuring stick is different. Men are judged based on how much of his purpose that he can do, how much achievement can he make, how much strides can he make in any area. He got to be making some kind of strides in one of these areas. He got to be doing something. Okay, he either getting respect because he's pious and real spiritual. You know, we respect the good pastors and good imams and good, you know what I'm saying, preachers and men that we really see trying to live the spiritual life. They get respect from that standpoint because he's doing something. Men who are work out all the time, you know, he keep his health up all the time. He can get some type of respect for doing something with him, something he do. He's not sitting around a fat slob, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. He a family man, a man that do things for his family. He provide for his family, he take care of his wife, he take care of his children. He makes sure men can get respect for that. Men can get respect for their appearance value. They have a respectable aura, or they have leadership qualities, or something that make people respect them. Okay, they dwell in mobility, education. He's highly educated, or he's very smart. His profession, he make a lot of money, or he, you know what I'm saying, specializes in something. He has a lot of wealth. See, these are the things that men are judged upon. They gotta be doing something out of here. They gotta be doing something. They gotta be doing something. Men will not get respect if they aren't doing some of that. If they're not doing none of that, that is where men lose respect from other men. You a fat slob. You don't got no ambition. You don't do nothing. You just sit on your butt all day. What do? You don't take care of nothing, not even yourself. You don't even take care of yourself. You don't groom good. Your hygiene bad. You're running around here. You know what I'm saying? Then you got an attitude or whatever. You know? You say stupid stuff to people. You're entitled, and you study arguing and getting into it, and you know what I'm saying, and all this kind of stuff. Men are judged on these things. If they are pieces of crap, other men do not judge them nicely. You don't got no integrity as a man. So you just have abdicated manhood and masculinity. So you just don't pay attention to none of the tenets of established manhood, masculinity, and what it means to be a man. They really get less respect when men see them and realize they don't even know how to be men. Some man somewhere, they ain't never been a man nowhere in their life that taught them the rules of manhood. So you just don't know the rules of manhood. Somebody gonna hurt you, bro. Somebody gonna hurt you, bro. Like you gonna get hurt. You gonna get hurt out here playing, because you out here playing. Now I'm gonna try to keep my hands off of you, but you might not be so lucky next time with another guy, because you talked crazy. You know what I'm saying? You study acting a fool. You might get, listen, somebody gonna put their hands on you. I have heard men have these conversations with other men. You acting a fool. Okay? You acting a fool. Now, I'm going to try to spare you. I can't speak for nobody else. So men and the success of men, or whether men can be respected or not, has more to do with their own personal, how they carry themselves within masculinity. Now, secondarily to that can be the women that he attracts. Do this man attract real good, solid women? You know what I'm saying? He don't have all these stupid, ratchet, airhead hoes all around him. The woman he got, She on point. No, she on point though, for real. You know what I'm saying? That does raise his status. However, for women, it is different. Women are judged based on the kind of man she can attract. And the better quality of man that a woman can attract in order to have marriage with him and a committed relationship with him, attracted for relationship, not sex, relationship. A man want to commit to her. The better quality that man is, the more that reflect on what kind of quality you are as a woman. And women who get to certain ages and certain points in their life and they do not or cannot or have never gotten any of that, she's not judged very well. The question then becomes, what is wrong with you? And women might be feeling a certain way about that, but I'm going to clarify something for you before we get out of here. The reason why that becomes a question is because men know how thirsty they are for women in general. Men know that. Men know how thirsty they are for women in general. So no man wanted you, especially if she looked like something and it seemed like she should have had a man. Now they're questioning it. They questioning it. So you've gotten to this kind of point, that kind of point, this area, this age, and you ain't been in a convent, so men don't like you like that. Nobody. And it may seem unfair because certain circumstances here and certain circumstances there, individuals can have individual circumstances going on that might have contributed to them or whatever. It may seem unfair, but double standards, that's one of the characteristics of double standards, and they seem unfair. Because one of the things she's talking about is, if I were a man, no one would question me about marriage, specifically because of the money that I have. And she's right. But men are not judged primarily on that. Women are judged. So it doesn't matter that she's wealthy. She's still a woman. And it may seem unfair, but that's the way it is. So it kind of get even worse a little bit, because it's like, so you are a woman that's not down bad, like financially. So you have the means to keep yourself up. You've got the means to always be pretty. You've got the means to go in certain places that other women who don't have, the type of money or status or recognition or things of that nature, you can go into rooms other women cannot. No takers. You actually have a wider range of mobility. Still no takers. You can travel the world. Still no takers. You can go anywhere. You can go anywhere across the world, and there's no man on any continent. No man of no other race. No man of nobody. Nobody. I sound ghetto. This is one of your shows that sounded more ghetto and self-reflective than a more general point. I sound ghetto? So nobody? it becomes a question. And it becomes a general question. It becomes a valid question, whether she want to answer it or not. It becomes a valid question. What's going on with you? It's the same thing. It to a certain extent, it do kind of go for men. It's just not as heavy-handed. I was looking at one clip of Shaquille O'Neal, and so I forgot the exact question, but his answer was, "You don't think I know I messed up? I live in a such and such square foot mansion by myself. I'm by myself. You don't think I know that at some point I messed up? You don't think I know that?" And he talks about his past marriage with Shawnee. He consistently said, "No, actually, Shawnee was good to me. Shawnee was good to me. She was a good wife to me. She gave me them kids. She was a good mom. She did what I wanted her to do. I messed that up." So now I'm in my 50s or whatnot. Knees bad. I got money. I never lost my money. I didn't lose my wealth. I still got my children. I love my children, but I ain't got nobody. I ain't got nobody here. Right? And last but not least, I'm going to let her talk about her decisions and whether or not she would repeat them.
But there are some men who like to know, like, okay, I have my wife. There's a control aspect. So they're also like, well, why aren't you married? Like, could you not follow instructions? Were you not, like, did you not forgive too easy? I would say this. There's women who are married to men in jail. And if you feel like she is a better, if you feel like because she's married and has a husband, you can take her advice. Like, I'm not the kind of person that's like, you have to live by what I live by. I'm telling you what I know, right? At the end of the day. And there's married people who I would not take advice from. And we have to stop this illusion that marriage is this sun and roses and everybody's happy. You know, I have a therapist who literally told me that a lot of her clientels are wives who are trying to make it through their marriage because they're not happy. Woo! Not saying this is every wife, okay? But I think that...
Side note, the rhetoric, I'm tired of that rhetoric. Marriage is not this happy thing. The wives are secretly very unhappy. Who said marriage was always 100% of the time going to be this magical, happy-go-lucky rainbows and gumdrops and lollipops every day? Like, who said that? Who's saying that? Not any woman that's actually married and that's actually in it for the long haul and really with her husband. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. Are there happy times where there's lollipops? Yeah, sometimes it is lollipops and rainbows and gumdrops. Actually, it is. Is that every day, every year, every time? No. But the days that it's not lollipops, it's not always earthquakes and thunderstorms either. Sometimes it's just a sunny day with regular weather and you chilling. Nobody talks about the middle part of that. It's always some extreme. Nobody talks about the middle part where you just chilling.
most women want the wedding day, they want the ring, they want the bragging rights, they want the Instagram post, but do they really want the wife job description? Now, the wife job description, I believe in it so much, that's why I won't do it. I was engaged, and that's what, before all this, very early in my career, I was engaged. I was in my 20s for my college sweetheart, and the one thing we decided is we would never get divorced. And I really think people should make that decision before you get married, because it's like, listen, if we do this, it's me and you till we see Jesus. And there wasn't an infidelity. I realized we had different life plans. And most women usually just kind of follow the man. Nothing wrong with that, right? And at that time, it would have made sense. He was an electrical engineer. I'm a radio host making $7 an hour. I'm going to probably be fired in I would you get fired all the time in radio. I have no job security. So girl, you got this man, tall, dark, handsome, marry him, have babies, and run off to the sunset. And I couldn't make that bet because I had so much inside of me. I had to take a risk on becoming who Kendra could become. And that's 20 years ago. And as I say, I always tell my age because I want people to know my life is a journey. I'm 46 years old. If I would know that you make that deal and you decide to go for your career, and at 46, you still wouldn't be married, you still wouldn't have kids, would you make that same bet? Absolutely.
You would,
because I had to choose myself. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be married and just say I'm married. If I'm married, it's because this is what God's purpose is for me. And I'm riding out with you to the sunset. And I know you're going to mess up, but I'm here. I'm Coretta Scott King in it. Yeah. And if I can't.
And that is the real reason why she said it herself. That's why she's single. She believes in the wife role so much, that's why she won't do it. Because she don't have it in her to do. She just said it. I don't have it in me to actually do the wife thing. Because in Kendra's mind, this is what this tells me. What she just said tells me, gives me a little bit of insight on some of the things that she's thinking about. She thinks that being married is automatically something that would cap her and make her have to minimize who she is, instead of seeing it from the standpoint that that man may not have been necessarily aligned with her. So who knows if that marriage could have endured the test of time. But that didn't mean that there wasn't a man there somewhere that would never have dimmed her or would never have stood in the way of her career path. There are men who would not have stood in her way. He would have wanted her to do what she was doing. She just would be married to him. And he would be as supportive to her as hopefully she would have been to him, doing whatever it was that he did. But unfortunately, she must have believed at some point, or still believe, that marriage would dim her. Or it would have. She could not have been where she is today had a man been consistently in her life. And that's actually a little bit sad. Because when I think about Judge Lynn Toller and her story about meeting her husband and them getting married, and she was already of a higher status professionally than he was, and he got right behind her. He didn't tell her, no, I don't want you to be a lawyer no more. I don't want you to be a judge no more. I don't want you to keep striving in your career path. I want you to quit. I want you to not be no lawyer nowhere and things of that nature. I don't want you to do that because I just want you to do what I want you to do. He understood. Nope, I got one of them ones. And actually, her career path is probably one we should both be working on. And he did. And that and based on what she was talking about. I'm still talking about Judge Taller and how she speaks of her marriage and how she speaks of her late husband. She never not loved that man. Her financial standing did not have any negative impact on her loving that man. Same thing we can see now with Miss Tabitha and her husband. He just got right behind her. Sometimes you can see when the train leaving the station. Just get on the train. Just don't try to stop the train. Just get on the train. Just get on the train. We going places on this train. Just go. And yes, I do. I think that she's not completely telling the truth. She can't admit really to herself, probably even to herself yet, that I probably should have made a different decision. If not with that guy, with some guy, I should have done that. I should have, because it wouldn't have stopped me. Because the right husband would not stop you. He would not. He would not have. It goes along with the concept that being married means that you can't do anything, or that as a woman in a marriage, it stops you from any kind of success or any kind of career. Black women in general still have not figured out that the career and the marriage actually can coexist depending on how you've prioritized it. They can coexist. You just have to prioritize properly. They don't have to not exist. If you have proper priorities, if you got your priorities straight, you as the woman in a relationship can have a better financial footing than your husband, or a stronger career, and that not be a source of contention in your marriage. It'll only be a source of contention if somebody make it one. It doesn't have to be one. You got to make it one. You actually got to make it a problem. So I'm going to get on up out of here. That's what I wanted to talk about today. But I'm going to get on up out of here. Thank you, Chanos, at all 3 shows this week. Very informative. I've been trying to be more informative with you guys and add the value to you. Okay. Rather than just get on here and just talk for the sake of talking or repeating salacious talking points, but the value has to be there. You've got to, I'm very invested in my subscribership coming away with something valuable or something to chew on or something to think about after my shows or after my videos. So thank you for recognizing that. All right. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.